Hey, good morning, everyone. Thursday, 14th of November. Beautiful 18 degrees when I ran the dogs. How beautiful was it? Mild, no wind. So beautiful, in fact, that the other heavily armed security detail pulled up. A little short of supplies, don't you know? And I was able to stand in the street and talk to him. I had to cut the conversation short, not because I was cold, because I had stuff to do. I had to get down here to level 7 and get this video out. Keep that picture at the beginning of this video in mind. We'll get to that in a bit. I could have titled this video a day in the life of your humble messenger. Because people, if I didn't tell you this, you'd never believe it. No matter where I go, I get flack. Yeah, me, humble messenger. I don't deserve it. So in the last video, I told you about how poorly I predicted the outcome of the Dallas Cowboys Vikings Sunday night football game. I haven't heard the end of it. Today's Wednesday. Last night, got both barrels. People want to talk football. I'm going to tell you something. Heads up. I don't give a rat's butt about the NFL. I don't care about the Dallas Cowboys. Do you know why I say I support the Dallas Cowboys? Because they're everything I'm not. They're arrogant. They're in your face. They're rude. They're obnoxious. They're not humble. They're kind of like the Yankees in the Major League Baseball, if you know what I mean. So, I do it to irritate, especially Viking fans. Love to irritate Viking fans. You know the way Murray likes to irritate sheep in Montana. That's how I treat these Viking fans. Okay. So everybody wants to talk football. Now I go to either my kids' bar. I've got my own now, not far away. And I want to talk flat earth. No, they don't want to talk flat earth. I want to talk about how NASA mooned America by the moon landing that wasn't. Nope, they don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about football. I want to point out and talk about stratospheric aerosol injections. Yeah, chemtrails. No, they want to talk about football. They know everything about football. I mean, some of these guys, some of my room temp plus 5 people that surround me are very well educated on football. Stats, player stats, fantasy football stats. I mean, these guys are good, and that's what they want to talk about. And if you don't want to talk about that, they got nothing to talk about. Okay, so you want to talk about football, people? Let's talk about football, and I'm going to give it a little conspiratorial twist, okay? A little bit fun. This is going to be kind of a fun video. Now let's get back to that picture. That picture, people, is a picture of the ISS International Space Station. I call it Imaginary Space Station. Floating up there somewhere at low Earth orbit because they can't get through the dome. They can't get to space. Can't happen. Van Allen belts, don't you know? And lo and behold, they're wearing the contending teams in the 2017 Super Bowl, Super Bowl 51. The chick is wearing the Patriots. The dude is wearing the Atlanta Falcons. 51 is the 51st Super Bowl game. They even got a commemorative football they're flipping around with. Now, what's so shocking about that, Dave? So the Nas-holes at NASA want to celebrate America's greatest game. What's the rub? What's the problem? Well, first of all, remember, we want to talk about football. So I'm going to tell you about football. The Super Bowl 51 was played on February 5th, 2017, 5:30 Central Time. That's the time zone of your humble messenger, people. NRG Stadium in Houston. Hey, how's that for talking football? I ain't done. Halftime show? Lady Gag Me. Yeah, that was your halftime, remember? Most valuable player? Why, had to be Tom Brady. How many people were in attendance? 70,807. Who did the coin toss? It was none other than George H.W. Bush. Remember? Poppy. Think back, people. And what did a 30-second commercial cost for Super Bowl 51? $5.02 million for 30 seconds. Wow. And some of them were some real shitty commercials. Okay, so looking at that picture, if you have to just pause, go back, and then find out we're at the 4-minute and 46 mark here, go back. Question has to be answered. When did the competing team jerseys and commemorative Super Bowl 51 football get to the imaginary space station? Because I asked this question. You can go to the Nas-holes' own website, nasa.com or .gov, and you can find out that the last vehicle to go up to the imaginary space station was launched on December 9th, 2016. Now we got a problem with that date, people, and this is why I'm on the top. This is why I excel in research. I also stole a lot of this material from the Potter's Clay channel. Excellent job, Potter's Clay. I'll give a link in the bottom below. So I'm a plagiarist. Alright, here's the problem. 2 days after the launch, there was still a good number of teams in contention for the playoffs. They hadn't even decided who won the Super Bowl. Now, did NASA know who'd be going to Super Bowl 51, played on February 5th, 1.5 months before the rest of us? Is NASA that smart? Okay, by January 22nd, 2017, we all knew who was going to be playing. Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons, and the Patriots won. Okay, now you have to ask yourself a question. How did them Astro-Nots get the right jerseys for the right teams? A month and a half before anybody knew who was going to be playing. Well, there's several ways. I've said this many times. Sports are fake. The NFL has turned into WWE. Fake, phony as hell. Okay, but you don't like that option. NASA knew a month and a half ahead of everybody else who the competing teams would be and sent the right jerseys up December 9th. Want to buy a bridge? Got one real cheap. Okay, here's another possibility. NASA could have said, hey, we've got about 18 teams in contention for the Super Bowl. Why don't we just play it safe and print one of every teams? Yeah, we'll send them up December 9th. You want to buy another bridge to go with the bridge you just bought? I'll tell you what I think, people. I'll tell you exactly what I think. I think UPS pulled up to Studio B service entrance, knocked on the door, saw the red light wasn't on, hey, filming in progress, walked in and says, delivery for the Astro-Nots. We got a couple of jerseys here and a cool-ass football. Yeah, that's what I think. I don't think it's up there. I think it's imagination. But you want to talk about football? We talked about football. Now I don't want to talk about any more football. So, like I told our heavily armed security team that I was visiting with earlier this morning, don't mean to cut this short, people, but I got stuff to do.